Hello, this is Carolyn with Carolyn's Paper Therapy, and I'm getting ready to start on a new project with this Teapot Fairies collection from Shabby Art Boutique. And I have printed out the entire digital kit with the design papers on the front and the plain pattern papers on the back for anything that is going to show on the back. And I've started to plan a journal, so I was kind of getting involved in it, so I thought I better start a video, and then I'll make several videos along until I get this cover finished. But the first thing I did was I decided that I wanted to have a door on the front. And so I printed out this sheet in our papers. And then I fussy cut around the doorway. And then I took my little blade pen and cut from here all the way around the door and across the bottom so that I could fold the door back. And this is printed on the back side so that there is a pattern on the back of the door. And I searched around until I found a little fairy in our kit that fit inside the door properly. And this was a one of the larger tags. And so I put her behind the door and glued her down. I have inked around everything just to cover up the white edges and give it a little bit of a distressed. I like the layered look. So I cut it off of this piece right here. And then the next thing I did was I wanted to decide what to do for my cover. So I selected this page for my cover. And I didn't print anything on the back, and I had already cut it out and everything. So what I decided to do was I took another paper similar, this right here. These are all on cardstock. And I glued this to the inside. This way I doubled up the weight on my cover, which I've been needing to do for a long time, and by making a mistake, it made me do it this time. So this is the outside of the journal, and this is the inside. And I've just laid it flat and glued it together, inked around all the edges, and then folded it down the center. So this will be the inside, front, and back covers, and this will be the outside, front, and back. And so what I am planning, subject to change, is to put this lace under here and put this hanging down underneath our cottage. And then our cottage will go right on here. Now, of course, I'm going to embellish this with lots of roses and pearls and whatever. I have this ribbon, and I have plenty of it. This is hand-dyed silk, recycled silk ribbon that's going to match our journal. And then I have these leaves that I plan to encircle this page with, and there will be roses around it. I'll put either paper, silk roses, pearls, roses from our Simply Roses kit with leaves. I haven't decided all that yet, but I just wanted to get this started, and I wanted to show you before I start to glue things down. I'm going to glue this down, and I'm going to leave these edges loose of this so that I can tuck things in there and decide how I'm going to embellish the front. But we will still be able to see these pretty pale roses at the bottom, and then we will encircle this with roses. So that's why I'm calling it the Fairy Rose Journal. And inside we're going to have a treat on every page with our cute little teapot houses and fairies and gardens and flowers. So stay tuned, and I'll be back soon. Hello, I'm back to show you what I've done with the cover for the Teapot Fairies collection for Shabby Art Boutique. This is an amazing kit, and I have abandoned all my housework just to work on this because it's so pretty. I'm going to be calling this the Fairy Rose Cottage. It has a tea theme, and I'll be using that through here, but I wanted to call it Fairy Rose, and you'll see why. This is what I ended up doing with the cover, and it will, before I'm all done, it will have a lace edge here after I bind it, and then some ribbon and dangles. But this is what I did, and I'm going to try to explain my thought process and what I went through to put this together. I showed you on the first part how I cut out this door and the angel inside, or fairy inside, and how I was going to cover this with the lace and then this doily that hung down below. And of course, when you're doing a lot of layering, you end up covering up a lot of what you've put on there. However, it peeks through and makes such a beautiful project by the time you get done. So after I put that lace and the doily and the door on there, I was trying to figure out what else I needed to do to decorate it. So I decided to use some of the roses from our kit, like that were on the edges of things like this, and I just cut them out. And when I glued down the door, I did not glue the edges. I glued it more in the center so that I could tuck things in under. So if you look closely, you'll see some roses peeking out here and peeking out up here in this corner. And of course, once again, they get kind of covered up, but still they're there in the layers. The next thing I did was try to decide how to put on this vine and the flowers. So I decided I wanted the flowers in these two corners. So I took this comes in a roll, and I got it off of Amazon. And there's enough here for all of us to use, I think. But I got some gold, and I got this green. And what I did was just kind of lay this around and just ever so often glue a leaf down. I didn't try to glue the whole thing down because I wanted to tuck things in around it. So it goes from in under this here all the way around back down to here. The next thing I did was put on my flowers, and I chose these paper flowers and then a couple of little flowers from my garland that I had told you I got, and they have this funky yellow center, so it's plastic, and I just pulled that out so that all I had was the petals, and then I ended up putting my little rhinestones in the center. This one is kind of mushed underneath there. Okay. After I did that, I wanted some accent pieces of our fairies and our teapots on here. So I chose to put them in this corner and this corner, with the smaller of the teapots down here. And again, when I glue these on, I'm just kind of gluing down more in the centers, wherever I think I might want to tuck something in under. So here's our little fairies up here, two little fairies, and our teapot house down here. I decided to put Fairy Journal on here, and on our door it says, "Shh, fairies sleep here." Then I felt that it still needed something else, so I added this lace across here, and I was able to tuck it in under these things and glue it down. then I just did these corners, and what I did, I have this kind of, it's almost like elastic lace. It's about this wide, and I just kind of wadded it up at the end and put some glue in under these flowers and punched it in there. I actually used a little tool that you use to place sequins. I stuck it up in there. I did that on both corners, knowing I was going to put lace down this side. By the time I got all that done, I couldn't put lace on this side, so I turned this over and I glued that lace on the inside. I had just a little bit of hand-dyed pink tatting that I decided to put on the very edge here and here. And I had two little tiny pieces left, so I trimmed this and stuck a little piece right in there. So you see, it all just kind of evolves as you start working with it. You kind of lay things in place and then glue down what you're sure of. And don't be afraid to try things. It's paper. You can print it out again. It's not the end of the world. If you make a mistake or something that you don't like, if the glue's not dry, you can get it back off of there. So just go ahead and try. This is a little fancy for me, and I'm kind of enjoying the idea of the collage and the layering. I've always done a little bit of that, like on pockets and things, but not so much on the covers. And let me finish with this, and then I want to tell you something. I did use one of the butterflies, and I put some bling on its body. And I decided to use, since I used the rhinestones, that I would use the silver stickles. I haven't used it much, but I used the silver because of the rhinestones, and the hinges are kind of a metal. So I thought the gray metal and the silver stickles would go well together. So now this is all wet, so I'm trying not to touch it, but I've done these two things here with the silver. I've put little dots on here like these signs are nailed on. And then I got my little, this is a pen, sparkle pen. It's like a little brush inside, and all the sparkle is up in here. And you just squeeze it a little bit and just paint sparkle on things. And it's very faint, and you can't really see it on the video. But if you see it in person, you see the sparkle on the angel, or the fairy wings, and the butterfly wings, and on this fairy's wings. It just adds a really tender touch to this whole project. So that's my cover. What I wanted to say was, many of you put off your cover to the end, and that's fine. I like to do the cover first because to me it sets the tone and my mood for creating the style of the rest of the journal. So if I wait and do that at the end, I don't know, it just doesn't seem as exciting. So I always do the cover first, and except for the inside front cover, it's not going to get in the way because I'm going to set it aside while I'm working on the rest of the journal. This is finished, and this is the ribbon that I plan to use throughout the journal. It's hand-dyed recycled silk. And let's see. Oh, the inside of the journal, I've selected the pages I want to use. And again, this is a larger cover. And I did double the cardstock this time, and I like that idea. I probably do that from now on because somehow the cover is just a little bit flimsy unless I use heavy cardboard. So I doubled the cardstock. That way I have our design on the inside and outside, and it's extra thick. And so these pages will fit right inside. And what I've selected, I'll just thumb through them here. These are the pages that come on the page printed like this, with the intention of folding it in the center, or they can be cut apart and used in some way. This is what I use for most of my journals. I just figure out which ones I want. I print them, and then I print one of the all over patterns on the back side so that I don't have to cover anything if I don't want to. It's already got some pretty paper to look at. So this is how it will flip through. And we'll have pockets and tags and lace and ribbons and everything all through here. And this paper, I forgot to look up what it's called, but I just ordered it, and I'll look it up and put a link to it in my description, because it's, I don't know, it just made me think of fairies and woodlands. So I put this thin paper in there with little flicks of organic stuff on it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's there, and I'll decide. Beautiful on both sides. And then here we go again. This is the center right here. It's got a lace pattern. Here's another little doorway and some more of that beautiful paper. So what I've done is I've used 4 sheets of cardstock from the kit and that one extra paper, and then the cover. So, and don't forget, we have our cute little tea bag, hidden paper clips with the tea bags in them that I will probably use some of these, and maybe just 1 or maybe 2 in this journal. These turned out so cute, and I think it would be such a nice little gift to give a friend tucked in a card. I might even make a card to go with one of these, just to show you how that would be. So that's all I have to share with you on this video. I got to go do some housework. Things are kind of piling up around me, and I've been having way too much fun here. So enjoy looking at this, and if you want to make something similar along with me, or just get your ideas and go with whatever you have in your mind, get busy gathering your things and printing out everything, and we'll get going together. So the next time I come back, I'll be starting on some of these inside pages. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember, every day's a gift. Always look for the joy in each day. Share it with everyone you meet along the way. And I think it might be nice to just have some little fairy dreams. These are the sweetest little girls, and nothing but love and happiness in the garden. So go out in your garden and imagine your little fairy garden there, and enjoy your day. And so I'll be back before you know it. See you soon.